What's going on, Paul fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're talking about AFL X and everything that's involved with this new concept the AFL have brought. It was announced a few months ago that this would basically be a little competition just to get fans excited, ready for the proper AFL season, which starts in approximately 57 days time. Not counting. So today I just want to get you guys' thoughts. What do you think about AFL X and what's it going to do for the game? Is it really needed? Comment below, and I want to see what you guys think, because it's a very weird thing for the AFL to bring out, and I don't think it's needed. But we'll dissect that a little bit further on in the video, and also talk about exactly what is AFL X. So let's get straight into the details. So AFL X, a new concept brought to us by the AFL a few months ago, is basically the AFL's interpretation of T20 cricket, or fast forward in tennis. A few details about the AFL X is, well, it starts in February. Thursday the 15th, will be at Highmarsh Stadium. Will be the first night of AFL X. The teams involved is obviously Port Adelaide, Fremantle, West Coast, Collingwood and Geelong. Starts at 6:10 PM, and which I thought was an interesting time considering it's a Thursday night. Nonetheless, the new concept is supposed to bring a new breed of fans to AFL in general. So it's basically how cricket is advertising its fast-paced game for their longer form game, for people to get involved, people to start up playing cricket, and just bringing that engagement throughout the community, which is a good idea. But will it work for the AFL? We haven't seen any proper interpretations of this AFL X. So the rules basically for this concept, if I say, 10 players each team, 7 players will be on the field, 3 in interchange, so half the field size as well, which is interesting. As you'll see now, it's popped up on the screen. 2 10-minute halves, which is obviously very short, especially considering the AFL games usually go for 120 minutes. It's now only 20 minutes, so that's that's a lot of time that's been cut for this concept. But then again, it's a night thing, so it's a round robin concept with all the players from each club playing each other, and then the grand final will be played at the end of the night. These rules that they've brought in to AFL X are almost rules that have been washed up from ideas from the NAB Cup in previous years. I'll give you a couple. So the ruck ball up is what starts the game. Very traditional, very normal. Obviously it's not a bounce, it's a ball up. Last touch over the boundary line, which has obviously been trialled many times in NAB Cup and other pre-season games, which I found, was not bad for the AFL. But now obviously they want to trial it in AFL X. The 25-metre penalty, obviously with the shorter field you have a shorter penalty. Kicking backwards is play on, which is another thing the commission brought up and teams brought up to make the play more exciting. Obviously it doesn't happen in the AFL, but AFL X has it. Scoring 10 points is, well, obviously a super goal is scoring 10 points is what I meant to say, but I mixed up the words there. So that will be basically from outside the 40-metre line. It's not 50, it's 40. So anything outside of that, a 10-point super goal will be considered instead of 9. So 1 extra point. The shot clock has now been cut to 20 seconds instead of 30. So again, speeding up the pace of the shot from a player. A rush behind equals 1 point, which is standard. But this is the interesting thing, and something they never really brought up, is that it's a rush behind equals a point, plus a set shot for the team that has obviously just not, obviously the opponent, for the opponent, is what I'm trying to get out. Wow, I can't speak today. And lastly but not least, every score that is scored is a kick in afterwards. So instead of going back to the middle for a ball up, it will just be a kick in straight away. So very, very interesting rules by the AFL there. I posted in our Portraits Facebook group earlier in the week to see what some fans thought about this concept. They'll all show up on the side here, so if your name is there, thank you for commenting. Quite a lot of thoughts about this concept, more undecided than many. One bloke's called it stupid, which is Can't argue with that. I'm undecided on this. I don't understand the concept of AFL X. I really believe that our game is growing either way. But the funny thing is they're trialling this right when the AFL women's season is about to start. Or I think it's June. I can't remember when the AFL women's start. But does that take away the uniqueness of AFL women's? Or is it trying to, bring this whole concept of AFL footy should be all year round? It's very debatable, and that's a whole nother debate if that's what the reason is for. But I don't think so. I think it's more just growing the game, and that's fine. As long as both genders are getting involved and having a fun time watching and playing footy, who really cares what concept we're playing? I mean, it's AFL footy, it's our game, and people should be playing it no matter what. So let's hope it works. I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch nonetheless. The biggest question of AFL X, and it's going to surround this whole concept until it starts, is who's going to play? Like, in terms of players, I mean, do the clubs go in with their best group of players? No. Essentially, there is no prize money for the winning. It's just basically an advertisement for new fans to come along and enjoy. It's all about the entertainment. Now, you won't see players like Travis Boak, Chad Wingard, Charlie Dixon, Robbie Gray, all those types of players playing. No. You'll see someone like a Sam Hayes, a Joel Garner, the younger type of players that will come in and play those games, because it's more for the AFL's exposure and exposing clubs as well to new fans. But obviously, original fans are going to go along and see anyway, just because it's another brand of footy that we get to watch. Now, it's an awkward situation because it's not as hyped as T20 cricket. The Big Bash is so big now. But as someone said to me earlier in the week, the Big Bash had to start from somewhere, and it started from T20 cricket, which had to start from somewhere as well. So, does this AFL X work? We'll have to wait and see. I think that's the biggest thing. It's all about waiting and patience to see if this AFL X concept wins over a few fans. It's interesting nonetheless. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for tuning in today, Port fans. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you are new to the channel for plenty more Port Adelaide content, AFL content, as well as the season is getting very close. 58 more days to go. And then round 1 begins. Thank goodness for that, because honestly, summer is dragging. I want to see my Port boys back on the field. JLT series is getting closer as well. I think it's only a few weeks to go. That's late February. That's after the AFL X, which is on the 15th of February at Highmarsh Stadium, 6 o'clock. So if you're keen to head down, I'll leave a link in the description for some tickets. And yeah, that's basically it. Follow the Portraits podcast for plenty more Port Adelaide news and content as well. We've got a podcast running that should start up very soon. So if you're keen on listening to some lovely people talk about Port Adelaide stuff, then we are the podcast for you. Other than that, that's it. I'm done for today. My name's Anthony, and obviously, can the pair.